He uses his hands. I use my hands all the time, okay? So he's never going to lose that pain and tingling in his hands. That's a very clear-cut example of someone who has legitimate pain and suffering long-term. Now, the immediate effects of the health insurance, took care of him at that time, whatever it was, when he first had to go to the hospital. But that pain and suffering of the tingling in his hand ain't going away. Okay, you can use that. You can use an example like that. Hey, I have a friend whose uncle, blah, 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 something along those lines. You don't always have to go there, but again, a story like that sometimes can help people understand.
Suffering, mental anguish, loss of
kind of the same
consortium.
Thing. Well, loss of consortium, be careful with is, I mean, that's like loss of like sexual ability type thing, I believe. Okay. Long story short, a story you can do, something like that. I think pain and suffering is your clearest response back to the medical. Because you're right, Blue Cross Blue Shield or whomever, they likely will pay those bills. They're not going to tack on the pain and suffering, right? And that's big.
They're paying the immediate stuff, not the down the road.
Bingo. Bingo. Okay, so what about comp and collision?
Comp and collision. Collision is going to be coverage for your vehicle in the event of a collision, subject to a deductible of your choice. Comp is going to be for anything other than a collision, including glass here in the state of Florida, subject to a deductible, if you so choose to have it. They're not required. We recommend it because if you're at fault in an accident and you now have no vehicle here, you would like to have something to be made whole.
Okay. You want to add anything?
Yeah. I think what you're trying to get at there with the comprehensive is, and you said glass, if you really wanted to, but again, that'd be a little bit more information. The windshield we had been talking about a little bit, where I usually recommend on a older vehicle that they elect to not have comp and collision. I usually recommend, hey, have $1,000 deductible, it costs you $30 for your comprehensive, but then you get that free windshield because in the state of Florida you can't drive with a cracked windshield, and they're usually upwards of $500. So we've gone over a couple of those, but yes, very similar. So collision, if you get into an accident, and then other than collision is usually how they describe it now. Subject.
Good.
I kind of like that. Subject to a deductible that you choose, because.
That's good. So collision is accident or upset. If you go by the book definition, be careful to use the same term in the definition that is what you're trying to explain. Because you said collision, and then in the definition you said collision. So I just probably substitute accident. Most people understand that. I think that's probably one of the easiest things to understand. Okay? And then the other thing, if it goes there, not that you would necessarily want to unpack or explain all this, but if it does come up, to Amy's point, here's the other big thing with the glass coverage. At that time, it's subject to no deductible. That's huge. So think about this. I have a clunker car. I have a 92 Ford pickup that's worth, $700. I can keep $1,000, $500, doesn't matter what my comp deductible is on it. I'm going down 275. A rock hits my windshield and causes a big crack. Just because I have the coverage, the insurance company will pay for the windshield to be replaced because it's a Florida law that if you've got comp, they'll pay for that at no deductible. So I'm not paying that $500 or $1,000 out of pocket. That's big. I just want to clarify. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Doesn't somebody have a glass deductible?
You can have, so I know the one that we looked at
Travelers
has a Premier. So your deductible is subject to all other glasses.
I was going to say
so
probably
your
everything
rear,
other than
your
windshield.
thing. Travelers offers a Premier roadside, which only has a $50 glass deductible.
Okay.
So they're a little bit less if it's other windows.
Good. Okay, so then the last things we'd probably say, rental and towing. Huh?
MedPay?
Yeah. So
Okay, we
I
talk
was going
about
to go
MedPay?
through I put extras down here. Which
Good.
would be
Okay, so why don't you get in it, Mike? Make sure you're stopping it and starting it.
Yeah,
So we're not
so
mixing too long.
MedPay we've gone over that we normally suggest, $5,000 usually. Dave Thompson said that to me one time, so I
Good.
had that in my head.
No, that's good.
But how would you describe MedPay?
MedPay would be a supplement to your PIP in terms of covering you, but it's still not going to be the same protection of uninsured motorists.